Hey everyone, this is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you live with a Tuesday tea time with Chala. It is the first Tuesday tea time of the year. Here's to many more. Here's to hoping that this audience grows and makes a lot of money from all this free advice and that we all prosper together in 2024. Hopefully you had a great holiday. I had a couple of mishaps, blown tire on the 401 on my way to Ottawa, doing 130 with my kid in the back seat. But anyway, all is good. Made it home safe. I'm so happy to be here. Let me take a sip of my hot chocolate. Okay, you know that I love to talk about niches, and what better to talk about in the first Tuesday tea time for 2024. If things have been really flat in your business for a long time, and I speak to so many business owners who are telling me, Chala, it's been like 5 years, 7 years, it's been a decade, it's been the same. In fact, people have gone, rolled back in their sales. And in some cases, significantly. I think it's time to really look at your niche. And what do I mean when I say niche is who you target and what problem you say you solve for them in your marketing strategy, how you do your outreach, what specific specialty you use when you communicate to them. So here's why and here's how to do it. So first of all, are you even niched? I want you to take a look at whether you've been talking about everything to everyone. I'm just now doing a whole bunch of video series to plug the mastermind that I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit, which is the one-liner marketing mastermind, which is really just simplifying your messaging and especially your elevator pitch down to just the one-liner. And in a lot of cases for the students who show up to the masterclass, we're finding out that they're not even niched. We have to redefine for them what a niche is. We have to convince them in some cases why they need a niche and why it's important. And a niche for a lot of reasons. But first and foremost, it's to simplify your messaging and your marketing. It's to make sure that you have a very distinct target group and a very distinct specialty. As soon as you hire any marketing help at all in terms of spending money on content, or if you're going to buy ads, the number one question they're going to ask you is, who is your target? And if you're guessing at it without having done the strategic work that I always talk about, then you're going to be guessing at throwing, your money and spaghetti at the wall kind of thing. So that's why a niche is so important. The second reason why a niche is so important is you need to know where to go to find these people, which is why it's so important to have a very specific group that self-gathers, like an industry or an interest group. And of course, the other big reason that I'm a huge proponent of niching is because it's a differentiator, especially if you pick one specific facet of a problem and a pain to talk about for a very specific group of people. And I often give the example of where and I'm actually going to be talking about this in one of my little reels that I do every day to plug the masterclass, is that I think it was last year that I hired, I guess it was 2 years ago, I hired a very specific online fitness coach, and they're a dime a dozen. I see fitness coaches, like, first of all, they're every day in my face at the gym, talking to me all day, trying to sign up business. And they're even part of my membership, which I never even used. I have had so many. I could go back to one of the many that I had in the past, but no, I signed up to this new one, and it's an online one. Like, it's virtual. It's not even in person. They can't even touch me to tell me, oh, you're doing it wrong. And the reason for that is because they were super niched. This guy was super niched in doing actual blood work for women over 50 like me, who are into fitness and who are experiencing a plateau of their fitness game because of hormones. So he was super niched. All his messaging was super niched. I'm a very specific target. He found me. He spoke to me. In Canada, I couldn't even get my doctor to give me all those tests. Like, they did a whole panel of tests. highly questionable whether it was useful or not, but either way, it got me a lot fitter. It taught me a lot. But did it get me to my actual goals? I guess it wasn't realistic because they made me do a whole reverse diet, and it's taken me like 2 years to lose all that weight. So, but I learned a lot, and I probably got more muscular and healthier. So, you know, all that to say, the reason why I hired him is because he was niched. Okay, so have I convinced you that you need a niche? All right. Now, if you are niched, is this the right niche? Now, how do you know if it's the right niche? It's one of the things that I ask is, how did you pick it? And most of the time, people are telling me, Shala, we picked it because we guessed it. We picked it because we were already in that industry. We picked it because we knew a lot of people in that industry. These are all great, but they are not scientific and strategic. If I would pick a niche for a product that I launched at Pepsi that way, I would have been fired way, like, right away, way into the game. So how did you pick it? Guessing is not a good one. Even if you hired a strategist, even like a strategist like me, but they didn't do the work to talk to the market at that time, there is no insights and there's no actual marrying the insights into what niche you actually end up picking and then how you build your marketing plan around it. I don't think it's right. I don't care how credentialed they are. I don't care how wonderful they are. I think guessing at a niche is the most dangerous things that marketers do who don't really know how to do strategy. So please, please, please be aware of that. So is this the right niche? First question is, how did you pick it? And then, is it easy to get sales meetings when you talk about this niche to people in pain? So do you even know where the people are that need your help? That's another big sign that you haven't really niched around a group that self-gathers and that your marketing plan doesn't place you in front of them. Is it easy to close business? Again, if you're all over the board, you don't really have a niche, you come in for one thing and you're talking about something else, it is very confusing to people who are trying to decide whether to give you a sales meeting because they're so busy, or they're trying to decide whether you can help them, or they're trying to decide whether you know more about them or about anybody else in the market around that one specific problem. If you don't have a niche, you can't speak to any of these things. And also, is it easy? Is this niche? Do you know that you have a good niche if it's easy to refer and understand? Because people refer things they understand. And if people just don't generally understand what you do, I mean, I've met people whose families don't even know what they still do, right? So these are some of the ways that you can predict whether you have a good niche or not. Now, here's the plug. And, I hate it when people say it's a shameless plug because there's no shame in telling you about something you might need. It's so funny. So this is a shameful plug if you want to be that way about it. On the January 23rd and 24th, we're doing the really popular, last year I started in December. I had no events to go to. So I decided to try an online event, and it was an unimaginable success. Really, really great. It was, since COVID, it was the first time I did it, and it just blew all the other things that I've done out of the water. So we're repeating it again. The concept of the one-liner marketing, which is what I was mentioning to you before, is very highly attractive to people. And it's, if you go to repositioner.com/one-liner, you can register, and it is free. It is a 90-minute training on the 23rd, and on the 24th is a bonus training. There's lots of, volunteers who are going to get their pitches polished. We're going to talk about your niches. I'm going to show you all the ways to find a niche and so on. Okay, continuing on. There's my shameless plug, and I refuse to call it shameless because I'm not ashamed. If you need it, you show up. If you don't, there's no need to be ashamed. Okay, so to strategically, how do you pick a niche? If you need a new niche, you've decided all these questions that I'm asking you, yes, yes, yes. How do you strategically pick the best niche? Here are a few quick tips. Pick one target who self-gathers many at a time. And you don't have to pick and stick to that one target. This is what terrifies people, small businesses. They're like, oh my gosh, I've got FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't worry about it. You pick one at a time. You can do one for 6 to 12 months, saturate it, move on to the next one. Okay. And the targets who self-gather, usually humans only self-gather in two ways. Remember, it's by industry or interest group. It's what they are interested in. So if it's, spirituality, if it's yoga, if it's kids of autistic moms, if it's by industry, it'll be like plumbers, or it'll be lawyers or doctors, whoever it is. Okay. Next is you find out the most common problem they have that's most expensive for them, whether if it's human beings, like, everybody's a human being, but if it's a B2C, business to consumer, the pain is most likely more emotional. So it could be like they're going to lose their marriage, or they're going to lose their health, or their child's not going to succeed. Whatever that emotional pain is, find out what that is, the most perceived pain around that. And then, of course, if it's a company, if it's an industry, it's money. They talk money. So find out what is the most expensive problem, and then find out the most common language they use around that pain. So you have to find out their brain, how it thinks about that pain, and what language they use around that pain. Then once you have that niche language, you then build programs, you build packages, you build content, you build your elevator pitch, you build, all of your messaging, everything, all your marketing strategy, your marketing plan, your communication strategy, your sales strategy, all around that niche and those words. So I hope that helps. That was a really very quick, that was 11 minutes and 42 seconds quick. And don't forget to sign up for the masterclass if you're interested. If you're still, struggling with your elevator pitch, and it's usually because you don't have a niche, or you're not articulating the niche, or you're niche resistant, which means like you're trying to be agnostic to niches, but don't do it. Anyway, I'll see you next week. All the best.